everyone, I'm Rebecca from the Glitch Stitchery, and thank you for joining me for today's Sips and Shuttles. For every Sips and Shuttles, or Sips and Stitches, because it's a similar process, video that I do a lot of research into new yarn brands that I haven't tried before. And most recently I found a company called Echoview fiber mill, and I was just absolutely entranced. I'm trying to pick up the box, it's a really big box. Absolutely entranced by their offerings. They're in North Carolina, which is where a lot of my family is from, so I have a soft spot. And also, the town that the mill is based in is Weaverville, which is just amazing. I love it. Anyway, so Echoview fiber mill. I was looking through their online shop, and there was a lot I wanted to try out. And I was just fascinated by it, and then I was looking more and I found out they had a mill membership option. So you pay $25 and you join their mill membership for the year, and you get access to their second quality shop. So this is the pieces that are a little off from what they would offer as first, or I mean, some of the stuff in there was spinning fiber that they couldn't process into yarn, but it's still spinnable on home devices. It just didn't work with their equipment, stuff like that. And it was just really cool. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna join their mill membership and I'm gonna put in an order and let's see how it goes. So that's what this is for this month's Sips and Shuttles. I have a pretty big box here, so I'm just trying to get this open. And I love their special Echoview tape. See, it's very cute. So let's see if I can get this open. That should be all the tape, right? Yeah, there we go. Ooh, it's so full. Alright, so this is my first order with them. And it's packed like super, super cute. So you open it up, and there's, it's adorable. All right, so first things first, I did order some spinning fiber. All right, so I ordered $9 worth. That is a lot of spinning fiber for $9, like a huge amount. But what it is, I think, is one of their yarns is merino, I think, and then also recycled fibers. So it seems to be that. And you can see all the little tweedy bits in it. So that'll be fun to spin. That is not related to today's video though, because today's video is Sips and Shuttles, which is a weaving video. There we go. Okay. Having a hard time today, apparently. All right, so what do I got? I've got one skein of fingering weight howlite, which I think is the merino tencel one. It's beautiful. I'm going to be dyeing this. This is also not for today's video. Set that aside. What I actually got for today's video was bulky yarns to weave with. So we've got, do I have 2 skeins of that? Yep. 2 skeins of ropin, which is, I believe, tencel merino, I think. I'm gonna have to look all these up before I start weaving, but I'm pretty sure this one was the tencel merino one, and then there was a different single ply one that was alpaca, and I did not buy that one. So I'm pretty sure this one was tencel. And I've got 1 skein of bulky warbler in yellow, and it's like a golden yellow. This is a little darker than I expected from the pictures, but it's a really pretty yellow, and it will work really well with the other yarns I picked. So I also picked what's known as bulky selects, which was like a bunch of random bits of bulky yarn that were seconds. Let's see if I can get those all in my hands for you. There's a lot. Okay, so this is the bulky selects selection, and I'm definitely looking to weave with these. So these ones are the ones that have the recycled fibers in them, and then these two are just wool, I think. They're pretty soft. It's nice. Okay, and then finally, I got 2 skeins of Maneater. And I am in love with this yarn because this is the recycled one again, but instead of just being random recycled fibers in it, it is reclaimed silk neckties, which is why it's called Maneater. I love it. These I might set aside to use for a special project. I don't know yet. I'm seriously in love with it though. This stuff's special. So we have quite a lot to weave with, and I am going to get the loom set up and we'll get started. Alright, so my Sipsby box for September came. I've already brewed all the tea, and I apologize if you hear any noises in the background. My family is home. They're just doing stuff. Alright, so they're all brewed in front of me. I'm going to start with the zesty one, I think. I'm assuming that these are still different for every person. So you did not get the same thing as me. I got Superberry Samba by Zest Tea, and this one is a very high caffeine green tea with fruit. So and it's in those pyramid shaped tea bags, which I always find fun. Move that over there, give it a stir. Definitely you can taste the strawberry. I'm not huge on fruit tea. I tolerate them. It's not bad though. Mike would probably like that one more than me, which he can steal it if he wants. I see him behind me. This one's the strawberry wonder. Alright, so this one here is the Breakfast in Paris by Stash Tea, and that one is a lavender Earl Grey. Yeah, that's more your thing. Lavender Earl Grey, which is more my thing. I added a little bit of milk to this one. Now see, I really like that. I will probably buy more of this one.
I do like that. I couldn't drink a lot of that though.
It's not really my thing, but it isn't bad. Alright, the next one is the Pecan Peach by Tea Goblin. This one's another fruit one, but there's no caffeine in this one. Took a while to steep, which isn't unusual with the loose leaf, or in this case, loose fruit pieces. Alright, let's see. Oh, I like that. Here, try that one. I like peaches best though, so that's not really surprising. That's the one that when I was brewing them, I walked by my desk and I was like, oh, my whole desk smells like fruit now. That's what it smells like.
Strong peach. It's not bad.
I like it a lot, and it's a lot like the one that I liked last month, I think it was. The one that was like a fruit punch one. I think it was called Tardy to the Party or something. That one,
I don't know.
they're similar. It's the one that you didn't get to drink any because Hannah stole it all.
Right.
Alright, this one is ridiculously hot right now. But it's a...
Oh, that's the one you had to
yeah.
reheat.
Alright, so this one is a yapon, which is interesting because it's not technically from tea. It's a different herb, but it's still caffeinated, and it's native to the United States. I think this was grown in Texas.
Yeah, I think that was...
Anyway, I had to steep this one in hotter water than the rest of them because it just was not doing anything, so I ended up boiling it, and it's very hot. So I'm actually going to use the spoon for this one. Just take a little bit to try. I've never had this before. It doesn't really taste like much of anything. Just tastes kind of like black tea. Like, it's not really bad. It's not, I don't know. I don't mind it, I guess. So I am going to keep working on drinking these while I work on the next step of my weaving project. Now, I know I had mentioned I was going to get the loom ready, but it's going to take me a little longer to get the loom ready because I am working on a weaving draft. And I want to make sure that I get the right number of threads. So I'm going to keep working on this, and then I will get the loom ready. Oh, you're going to try that one. And I will see you soon. Alright, I think now is probably a good time to start finishing up this video. The scarf is only about halfway done. It's more of a sampler than a scarf, really. I'm not sure how actually wearable it's going to be. But I did want to talk about the process a bit. This is all stuff I'm going to revisit in future videos, but this was more just my first time of even trying to do these sort of patterns. So, first off, you're definitely going to want some graph paper if you're trying to map out your own stuff. I happen to have a lot of it on hand, but see how this pattern here became this here? One thing you're going to want to remember is how you assign each block in the graph to threads. So for me, each block in this direction equals 2 warp threads. This means that the pattern as a whole stretches and flattens out this way. Now, if I wanted to, I could make one where each one equals 1 and 1, and it would be a lot more square and would look a lot closer to what this looks like. The only reason I didn't do that is because my paper does not go far enough for me to have 60 threads, and I wanted 60 threads. I could just tape papers together, but anyway, for the sake of a sampler, I didn't want to deal with that. Now, the next thing you're going to want to think about, well, there's a lot you're going to want to think about, but first of all, these floats don't really seem that practical. If you're going to be making something that's actually going to be used, like a bag or a garment, you might not want to use these type of techniques. I think this one was overshot, and then I was doing some different twill techniques, which in smaller yarns aren't as big a deal, but when you're using a bulky yarn like this, it's just gonna catch on absolutely everything. So I do think these would be more useful for things like wall hangings and decorative items around the house. Again, you can use these sort of things on garments, but it works better with a finer yarn. This is, again, just practice so I can figure out how to do this in the first place and draft different designs. So in addition to this graph paper, I also bought this to take with me. The boxes are much bigger, but I figure that way if I have an idea, I can just scroll it down while I'm out and about. So that should be fun. Beyond that, when I was graphing out the words, I came up with a bunch of different designs, and that's why you should come up with a sampler if you can, because then you can try out a bunch of your different ideas and see which one looks best. I didn't end up trying this one. I tried these two. I don't know which one I like better. Another thing to consider is if you are going to make a sampler, how many threads across you want it to be. Now for my sampler, I did 2 floats on each side and then 60 threads across for the patterns. Now the floats are just to keep your edges straight, basically, so that you have something to work around, and then all of the patterning is within the 60. I chose 60 specifically because it is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Like, you have a lot to work with. There are a lot of numbers that you can divide 60 by so that you have more room to work with different patterns. If you wanted to make a smaller sample, probably 40 threads would give you similar results, although you wouldn't be able to work with 3s or 6s without overage and uneven designs. I don't know, it's just something to think about. How many ways can I divide this sampler so I can try out different patterns? 60 is a good number for that. And of course you can make one that's longer across, but I didn't want to deal with that just yet. This is all very new to me. I am still getting used to it, and it is so much slower than normal weaving. Just, you know, plain weave like that. That said, I'm definitely going to come back to this, and you can check my Instagram over the next few days to find the finished pictures of this scarf once it's complete. I'll probably release those around the same time this video uploads. That way you can see them around the same time. It's not going to take me too much longer, probably a couple more days to finish this. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, we're definitely going to be coming back to this in the future and drafting out some more designs. I really want to do some with words and messages and pictures in the weave because it is really interesting. I will see you all again soon.